my segments set in the rubber bands last night and glued. Move each one of the rubber bands, set it to the side, get ready for the next ones. If you're going to do segmented rings, I highly recommend, if you can afford it, to get a drum sander. And that's where we're headed next. And that was an experimentation right there, and I'll show you what I mean. I took 6 segments of one height and 6 segments of another height and ended up like that. So if you don't experiment, try different things, you won't learn nothing, right? Then one of those on the top, that one on the top, that one on the top, this one on the bottom, and there you go. That's what you end up with. Let's go run it through the drum sander and I'll show you what it looks like in just a minute. I'll be back. Okay, I went over to my drum sander and there we go. I sanded both sides of these rings and I've got, alright, let's see here. Alright, this one and this one are the same size. I'm just doing a surface check here to make sure I got all the little hills and valleys out. A little rough. I love this piece of wood right here. Not sure what it is. I have no idea what the name of it is. I bought it off of a scrap wood pile at a wood show they had a couple years ago, and the guy that had it had no idea what it was either, but I got it for $2 and boy is it pretty. Alright, I need a piece of wood. Where's my other? Come on, don't do that. There should be another close. Come on, baby. Come on. There we go. Now, if we can clamp it without it sliding all over the place, it's pretty close. That's pretty close. Okay. Now I have my 2 halves of my ornament glued up, and so now I will let them dry for about an hour, maybe 2 hours, and then I'll come back and check it and see if the glue has dried for about 90% dry, and if it's holding and it's firm, set up I guess is a better term, then I'll check and see if I can throw it on the lathe and possibly turn it. And what I do is I put each half on the lathe and I turn the center out and get the ball shape on the inside. Then I reverse it around and then I glue the 2 halves together and then I turn it between centers to get the ball shape on the lathe. All right, everybody. I got my pieces out of the clamps I need my viewfinder so I can see what you see. Alright, here we go. And I took these off out of the clamp that I had on my bench over there. So they are good enough for me to turn the insides. I have the second one mounted in my chuck on the lathe, and I'm just going to clean up the inside. And I'm turning this at about 1200 RPM. Here I'm using my and that's good enough. I'm just doing this to lighten it up so as an ornament it hangs lightly on the tree. And there you go. Just a nice round shape on the inside. That's the first half. We'll put the second half in the chuck. See if that'll work. Okay. Alright, that's going to work really nice. This time I'm using Tight Bond, thick and quick. It doesn't take as long for it to harden. And then I can turn. Come on. Come on. Match those points up with the lines. I have this little point on here on a piece I throw in my chuck. It's running centered. I want to take my long extension on my live center on the tailstock end, and I want to see, there we go, bring this in. Okay, now I'll just let that glue set for about 15 or 20 minutes, and then I'll come back and I'll rough shape this out, this ornament,